Hello traders, Trader Tom here from Simply Forex, the channel created to help you succeed at trading. As you can see, I'm joined by a guest and I will introduce Srijit very shortly. Before I do, let me just tell you what we're going to do on this vid. So as part of the channel, guys, we're trying to sort of speak to and interview as many traders as we can so that they can pass on useful tips and advice for you. And also we'll delve into their strategy as well. So you can get to understand their strategy, and perhaps it's something that you would like to use and that you think may fit you and your personality. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. As you can see, I'm joined by Srijit, and Srijit is an experienced intraday Forex trader and educator, and works for one of the largest Forex brokers in Dubai, AUS Global. So, Srijit, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'm really excited to see how what information that I can share with
Yeah.
all your audience.
Brilliant. Us too. Yeah, it's what it's all about. We know this trading game is a difficult game, full of minefields. So any tips and advice and things that you think are helpful and have helped you over the years, then great, Srijit.
So, mhm.
So
Yeah,
we're going to start just by, understanding you as a trader. So, how long have you been trading? How long, and what got you into trading?
so basically, it's been like 2 years that I'm trading Forex right now. And just like every other story, a friend of mine introduced me to the Forex trading, and that's where I thought, like, let's hop on and see where this goes.
Okay.
And since then, till date, there hasn't been a single day that I haven't been in front of my charts because I've been so passionate. And because, see, it's like learning new things always excites me. And Forex is something that you learn something new every other day,
Yeah.
right? So it teaches you a lot. It teaches, like, you get to know about yourself, who are you as a person, how exactly does your brain work, while trading. So yeah, it has played a very important role. And since 2 years, I've been trading. And yes, I've started, I've started mentorship as well recently. I've been training three students right now, and trust me, the knowledge that I've gained while teaching these three students is massive. I didn't even know that I knew this much about the market, while I started teaching people. So yeah, that has been my journey, and I'm looking forward. Now luckily I got a chance to work with one of the largest brokers, so it has been a great opportunity for me to know how exactly the market works from a very closer point of view.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm looking forward.
Okay, Srijit. And do you trade,
Mhm.
a Forex trader as like your own money, or do you trade your company's money? And what's the setup there? Are you
So
like an analyst for this broker? How does it work?
yes, so I work as an account manager over here. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, yes, I am allowed to trade for my clients too, and I do trade, and I even self trade. I have two funded accounts, and apart from this, I have my own account, personal account that I have
Yeah.
been handling through a direct broker.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
I couldn't agree more. Since I've started this YouTube channel and just sort of passing on things that, I know about trading, and, but I've learned so much myself from, other traders that I've met, and, experiences that other people have had. So yeah, always learning in this game of trading for sure. And, I know we spoke a little bit before this video, Srijit. I know you wanted to speak about psychology.
Yeah.
So, let's get straight involved. Let's start there. And what specifically did you want to pass on in terms of, psychology and how it affects trading?
So, like, out of all the topics in trading, the main reason why I wanted to focus on psychology is basically because people are majorly aware about the term psychology, but they don't know exactly what to focus on. Okay. Now, your emotions, your fear, greed, overconfidence, these things can actually negatively impact your trading. Okay. Let's say you're like, I personally, for a new trader, I would suggest, have a mentor and stick to your mentor. Okay. No matter what happens, it is like ups and downs are going to be there. You're going to like, you have to face consistent losses. You have, like, you would even see a phase where you are being profitable. You are able to hit your targets for an entire week. Okay, so just stick to your mentor no matter what happens, because trust me, the more losses that you make, the more knowledge that you would gain. Okay. Now, while focusing on psychology in trading, success in trading is not just about strategies and techniques. Okay, the major point that we need to focus on is here. Okay, let's say you have an edge, you have a perfect edge, you have your risk management in place, but if this is not working, then trust me, trading is not going to work for you. Your problems, your financial problems, everything you are going to see on your charts, and I have been through that phase too. So I actually wanted to focus on that part. Now, the major thing that I always tell my students is that it's just a span of 5 minutes that you have to control your psychology. Okay. Now, let's say you are about to enter a trade. Okay, just for a moment, take a deep breath and know what exactly is your brain trying to say. What exactly is he talking? Is he in greed? Does he want your money, or does he just want to hit another target, or is he afraid of hitting another stop loss? So be calm, take a deep breath just before you enter your trade. Know, is your setup in place? Is your edge working? Is this your rule? Okay, is your risk management in place? Just tick mark these 4 boxes, enter the trade, be calm, breathe, and while exiting the trade, just make sure you follow your rules. Don't be greedy. If your strict risk to reward is 1:2, exit at 1:2. Book partial is 1.5. Stick to your edge, I would say. And this is the main point where traders lack, and even I have been at that phase. Okay, I've
Me
been
too.
over, especially in options, because you know in in fraction of seconds the market moves, and this brain becomes greedy. It tends to tell you that please hold this trade for a little bit longer. And that's where you exactly have to avoid, because it hampers your risk management, and you consistently start hitting stop losses, and that's where you lose your confidence, you lose your trust on your edge. Okay, so just fraction of second can impact so much in trading, and that is the main reason I always tell my students to just take a long breath before you enter a trade and before you exit a trade. This small exercise can actually help you to improve your trading of much better, in a better way, I would
Yeah,
say.
totally agree, Srijit. Yeah, it's so many times we just jump into a trade, and
Yeah.
we haven't even almost gone through our checklist or our plan. The plan, the checklist, our criteria is there for a reason. Just take
Mhm.
that 5 minutes to go through it one more time. You don't have to jump into a trade. People are so worried that a trade is just going to shoot off without them. And
Yeah,
and that
exactly.
that rarely happens. Most of
Exactly.
the time, I could get
Yeah.
in at a better price. If I
Mhm.
just waited 5 minutes, chances are the trade will retrace for me and then I could get in anyway. So, yeah, couldn't agree more. Just take those few minutes and, ponder the trade.
Absolutely, because see, opportunities are always going to be in the market. Okay, no matter if gold is at all-time high, trust me, it is going to make a new high
Mm,
very soon.
mm,
So just have faith in the market, and don't just enter because of FOMO, fear of missing things out.
mm,
Okay, just don't enter because of that. Have
mm.
patience. Market is going to give you an opportunity. especially for new traders, they don't want to miss a single opportunity. And just like if you talk about Friday, gold has almost fallen 3%. So I didn't enter the market because the setup was not in my favor. Okay, it's that simple.
Yeah.
But new traders, when I think about myself, being a new trader, I used to think, I used to, feel that fear of missing out of
Yeah.
an opportunity that, market has fallen 3%, gold has fallen 3%, which is a very huge thing. I could have made so much an X and X money, but trust me, that's not how exactly things work.
No, no, exactly. And so being an educator yourself, Srijit, and you have some students, and if we think of trading in terms of strategy, your plan, and we think of it in terms of money and risk management, and we think of it as psychology, these are the three things that really make up your edge. What are some of the the questions and things that new students want to know straight away? What are some of the problems you always see with new students?
So the major thing that I always face with the new students is how do I overcome this? Okay, especially in the initial 6 months, if we talk. Okay,
So how do I
how
overcome the
do I overcome
psychology
that
side?
technology? Okay, uh, I always say this, have a flow. Okay. The first thing that you need to do when you enter the market is just plain and simple understand what exactly is your chart doing. Okay. Why is your chart making candles every single minute? Okay. Just understand that. Okay. And trust me, it's not just green and red candles. It's it's actually human behavior that you can see on the charts if you actually look at it closely. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, after knowing the charts, I would say focus on your edge, have a fixed system, okay, make a plan of how exactly and when exactly are you going to enter the market, okay, and when are you going to exit the market, not just the entry plan, but even have an exit plan, okay. And the third and the most important thing that I want the new traders to focus on would be risk management. Okay. Have a very plain and very simple risk management. Don't overcomplicate things because I have seen traders, like they want to just, book a risk to reward of 1:5, 1:10, 1:15. Trust me, that's not how things work. A plain simple 1:1, 1.5 or 1:2 would be more than enough to make you profitable.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you have confidence on your edge, okay, I think even your psychology would be in place if you start doing just 4 to 5 basic exercises that I always tell my students to do. The very first thing is journal your trades, know when are you going wrong, know when are you over trading, in what scenarios, and know when are you making mistakes in the market. Second thing, and the most important thing that I believe is to meditate or do workout. Okay, because these things, you have no idea how much these things impact your brain.
Yeah.
Okay, because meditation, it calms you down. It calms you down during the panic scenarios, and when you're entering or exiting a trade, you are panicking because your money is on stake there,
Yeah.
right? And the third thing I always see is, know your lifestyle. Have a balanced lifestyle. Okay, have a system. Know when are you going to get up, know when are you going to bed, and know when are you going to actually enjoy your, the part of your week. Okay.
Mhm.
And the most important part is continuous learning. No matter you have been in the market for 2 years, 6 months, or 5 years,
Mm.
the the market will always teach you new lessons.
Yes,
Okay, so just be
100%.
prepared for everything and anything that comes around.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, brilliant,
Yeah.
Srijit. Really good advice. I couldn't agree more. Um, and on your we'll look at your strategy very shortly, Srijit, but just one more question for you, really. What was it that clicked for you with your trading? Obviously, again, we're speaking about strategy, risk management, psychology. What was the one thing that really clicked for you and started making you consistently profitable? Because I assume you started by losing a bit of money, then perhaps you got to break even, then you started making a little bit of money, which is the same route every trader goes through. But what's that one, or you know, it doesn't have to be one thing, many things. What things clicked to make you consistently profitable?
So, Tom, you mentioned that losing money. Okay, so I look at it in a different way. Okay, I don't say losing money. I say it's a mentorship fee that you give to the market. Okay,
Yes, yeah.
yeah. So losses are part of this game,
Mm,
right? And trust me, the knowledge that your losses are going to teach you is humongous. Okay.
yeah.
Now, when I started, I still remember, trying out new strategies every 2 months, trying on EMAs, indicators, RSI, Bollinger Bands,
Mhm.
support, resistance, trend lines. Been through that, and the one question that I always used to ask me was, can I actually enter the market just because the market has crossed this line? Does it make sense to me? And
Mm,
and it never did, because I
mm.
am a curious guy. I always need reasons before I enter the market, or take any decisions in my life.
Yeah, sure.
So it didn't click me initially, and then a friend of mine introduced me to ICT. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of people are aware about inner circle trader.
Yeah.
So the knowledge that ICT has given is huge. Okay,
Mm,
he has actually focused on very small things.
mm,
I always say, like I never promote my mentorship or anything. Any new trader comes to me, I always say, go, this is a free link. Go to this YouTube channel. There are 41 videos. Watch all these 41 videos at least 2 to 3 times. You will
yeah,
know how exactly market works. Why are the order blocks used? What is liquidity zone? What is fair value gaps?
yeah,
And how to enter a trade, how to exit a trade, what is risk management? You'll know in and out about the market.
sure.
And the confidence that I have gained after actually learning ICT in a very in a very deeper way
Mhm.
is huge.
Yeah,
So that's where, after having a set edge, I decided that I'm not going to change my edge no matter what. I just have two strategies. One is
yeah.
with the trend and without the trend,
Mm,
and that's where I enter. If I'm trading without the trend, I make sure that I'm always I have my eyes on the market, because I
mm.
have to be, because I'm trading against the market.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the trend, I relax a little bit. I am like,
Mm,
yeah, I have confidence, even though it hits my stop loss. That's not something that I focus on, because trading is a part of profit and loss, right?
yeah,
So the day I follow my rules is the day I believe that, yes, I've been, this is my day. So
yeah.
I look at it that way, rather
Yeah,
than just look
exactly. Yeah,
target and stop.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's Bridget. There's a difference between a bad trade and an
Mm.
unsuccessful trade. So if I
Exactly.
follow my system to the letter, and I've entered my trade perfectly, my risk and money management, my psychology, my strategies all in place, and then the
Mm.
trade still goes against me, I have no problem. It's
Exactly.
when you start not following your plan, or jumping into trades, being impulsive, revenge trading, all these mistakes, they are bad trades, not unsuccessful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And being a new trader to turning into a experienced trader, you just realize this path, that the amount of mistakes that you make, being a new trader, it has to reduce every single month. Okay, let's.
Yeah.
So that is why journaling your trades is very important.
Mm,
Let's say in a month, I have made 20 mistakes. Okay,
mm,
now out of, let's say, 25 trades.
mm.
So that's completely fine. But make sure that the next month you're at least having 15 odd mistakes, rather than just increasing the number.
Yeah.
And that is why journaling your trades, knowing every single trade, and actually looking at it at the end of the month, is, or let's say end of the week, is very, very, very important. And it's going to change the way you look at the market, and it's going to change your trading style completely.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You learn nothing from good trades. You know, if you enter a trade, hit your target, you're like, I'm a genius. But you know, it's when the market goes against you, yeah, then you need to really understand why. And sometimes there are no reasons, you know, just unsuccessful.
Yeah, so I would like to add something here. I like through my experience, I have realized that the greed and the the overconfidence that consistent profitable trades bring in you is actually turning yourself into a different direction. Okay, because let's say you accidentally hit 1:5 risk to reward. Trust me, the next 5 days you are going to hit your stop loss, because that's how it works. Because you are now overconfident. You just enter the trades because without even looking at your setup,
Yeah.
because you feel you have learned everything. You know everything about the market, but
Yeah.
that's not how it works, my friend.
No, that's when the market will bite you on the ass.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So, yeah, thanks for that insights, Bridget. You know, really useful, and thanks for giving those tips and advice. Now we're going to focus on your strategy now, because obviously people like to understand how people, how people, successful traders, are trading and what they're doing. You touched on it that you follow ICT, like a lot of traders do. So yeah, if you could share your charts, Bridget, and we'll dive into what exactly you look for.
Okay. Let me quickly share my screen.
And
Okay, I
before
hope.
we start looking at the strategies, Bridget, just to get an idea of your numbers kind of thing. So how many setups would you get in an average week? I know we can't control this, but what would you get roughly?
So basically, I tend to keep it very simple. Okay. I don't plan to overcomplicate things. So as I mentioned, I just have two entries that I focus on. One is with the trend, and the second one is without the trend. Okay,
Yeah.
or let's say against the trend. Now, I don't enter the markets in between, or just enter it because I see a setup. I wait and I actually, focus on the higher time frame order blocks. Okay, because it tends to give me less trades,
Yeah.
but it keeps the confidence going. Okay,
Mm.
I make sure that even though I just get two trades in a day, or let's say just one trade in a day, that's completely fine for me.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. But
Yeah. Me
I want
neither.
my A plus setups to hit that, during the trade. And
Mm.
that's what I am focused on easily.
Okay, so roughly one, maybe two trades a day.
Yeah, one or two trades a day. At
Yeah.
max, if let's say I hit profits on both the trades,
Mm.
then might be very rare chances I might attempt for the third trade, or else I
Mm.
don't usually.
Yeah. Yeah, and your point to the higher time frames, generally speaking, the higher time frame you go, you're going to get less setups, but arguably those setups are more reliable than, let's say, the
Exactly.
15-minute chart. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Great. And just out of, and what would you say your win percentage is, Sridget, on those
So
trades?
so basically for now my win percentage is 65%, I would say.
All
Okay.
right. Very good.
But the thing is, while I'm focused on my risk management, I book partials more often. Okay, I
Me
make sure
too.
that I book partials on every single trade, because once the market has given you some money, make sure that you don't lose that. I
Yeah.
always mention this part. Okay,
Yeah.
and even after having a 50% accuracy, on your edge, you can still be profitable. And
Yeah.
so it's always about the trade management.
Sure. And yeah, just partial. So switch it means sort of closing some profit of the trade and
Exactly.
letting some profit run. And then
Yes, exactly.
and also switch it, what typically what is your risk to reward? You mentioned 1:1, 1.5 to 1. Typically, what's your risk to reward?
So usually I tend to focus on 1:2 risk to reward.
Okay.
Okay, but uh, overall, if you look at the risk to reward ratio, I make sure that after market creates, like, crosses the last high, I make sure that I book my partials there.
Mm.
And I make sure to, at least if I don't book my partials, I make sure to, yeah, at least trail my stop loss to break even, or a point where, the market is, about to close.
Yeah. All right. With you. Okay, Srijit. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, please talk us through exactly what you look for in detail, Srijit. So, even new traders can know exactly what you look for.
Absolutely. I'll keep it very simple. So, I am a guy who doesn't like to have too many charts here. Okay. Cryptos are just for investment, so we can ignore this. So I
Mm.
majorly look at just gold, Euro USD, and Nasdaq.
Okay.
Now Nasdaq, I just trade on in the New York session. I don't focus on in London session or Asian. Asian, I don't even trade. Okay.
No.
Gold,
You got to sleep, Srijit. You got to sleep at some point.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean to say, just mark your, alerts, and just don't look at the chart after a while.
Yeah.
Make sure your alert talks to you, and, just look at the chart for 10 minutes, have your setup, enter the trade, get out. That's keep it that simple.
Yeah.
So, I am not trading gold from a while because of the war news and everything. So, gold is a very volatile thing. So, my major trades in the recent days have been on Euro USD. So, if you can see, the chart is already filled up with the
Yeah.
levels and everything. So, as soon as I enter the market, okay, as soon as I open my chart, I make sure that I go on the daily chart. What I look is what exactly is market doing? Is it creating higher highs, or is it creating lower lows? Basically, is the market in uptrend, or is it in the downtrend?
Yeah.
So as I can see from last 2 days, the market has falling down very aggressively, and that's because of the news that China has pulled back some gold stuff. So
Mm.
it doesn't matter, and I don't even trade news on the major events majorly,
No.
because I feel it's a gamble. So once I know my bias that it's going to be a bearish day. Okay, I just look for any order blocks if I can find on a daily chart, where I can see that Euro USD is inside an order block here. Okay, is inside a daily order block. I
Yeah.
don't usually mark the daily order blocks because I feel it's a little too much on the on the chart. So
Yeah.
I quickly switch to the 4 hour time frame, and
Okay.
this is where I spend most of my time, 4 hour time frame and 1 hour time frame. Okay.
Okay. And just to
I
clarify on that day chart, Srijit, you basically, because you saw a break of those lows on the daily chart and you were getting lower lows, your bias is to sell.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So I would, if I want to trade with the trend, if I want to have a
Yeah.
with the trend setup, so I would just look for a sell trade there. If I
Yeah.
want to have, against the bias trade, then I
Sure.
would look for a buy. Yeah. So if I look at the 4 hour chart, as I can see, I have an order block marked here, 1 hour order block. There was an 1 hour order block here. And if you can see, I have a 4 hour order block, which market did not, respect that much
Mm.
because of the news. It broke, and it has actually reached this 4 hour order block.
Mm.
Okay. Now, if we look at this, once I have this 4 hour order block, so this can be a very good, example that I can show right now. As you can see, the market has already reached, 4 hour order block here.
Yeah.
Okay, it has already touched the 4 hour order block. Now, when I'm talking about 4 hour order block, I make sure that I get at least 15 minutes. I get a shift on the 15-minute time frame. Now,
Yeah.
what exactly is a shift? It's if I can explain it in very short. Okay, market is creating lower lows. Okay, and when the market crosses the last low that it has created, and it starts making a higher high,
Yeah.
okay, this is where I consider as a market structure shift. Okay, this point.
Exactly as I do. Yeah.
And why is this important? So that you know that market has changed its structure.
Yeah.
Basically, it has now started going bullish from a bearish market. So I make sure that if I don't get a shift, I don't enter the trade.
Sure.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
So shift is something that I want in, before I enter the trade. Now, if I'm talking about a 4 hour order block, I at least want a 15 minutes, 15-minute time frame shift. And if I am, let's say I have a 1 hour order block there, then I'm fine with a 5-minute shift as well.
Okay, so just clarify
Okay.
there, if you're trading a H4 order block, happy with an M15 structure break. If you're trading the hourly order block, a 5-minute
Yes,
structure break.
5
Okay,
blocks.
yeah,
Yeah. And after the structure break, let's say market has, just shifted here. I need a closing. Okay. Closing is very important, not just the wick. You cannot consider this as a shift. I need market to close so that it gives me an extra confirmation there.
yeah,
Okay. Once I get a shift, okay, I'll quickly show you. Okay. Once I got the shift, in this leg of market, this is the strongest leg right now because
yeah,
this leg has broken the last low,
yeah. The
the
lower
last
high. Yeah,
higher low. Yeah. So I look for a fair value gap or an order block in this zone. And how do I look at it? If I need a better price, a better entry price, okay, I make sure to mark my Fibonacci.
yeah.
And okay. And I want my entry at least below 0.5 level.
Okay,
Okay. Because this is a discounted zone for me
yeah.
for a buy entry. So it gives me a better price. I'm fine even if I get an entry on the just on the 0.5 level or the equilibrium. I'm
Yeah.
even okay with that.
Yeah, anything
Right?
point 0.5 or below is basically
Yes.
value. You're getting a cheaper
Yes.
price. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like a good price that I've
yeah,
got while entering the trade.
yeah,
So once I get a shift, once I get a fair value gap, I can even switch to, after the shift, I can even switch to lower time frames. Probably I don't see a fair value gap over here. So probably I'll quickly shift to a 5-minute time frame. I'll look for a fair value gap over here. If I can see, I have a fair value gap here. So probably I could have entered here
And what's a
somewhere.
fair value gap exactly, Sridhar? You just drawn that in there. What are you looking for exactly?
Okay, so fair value gap is basically an imbalance that market creates. Okay, now what is imbalance? So basically, let's say market has started going up. Okay,
Yeah.
in ICT terms, it creates a gap. Okay, before while pushing aggressively. Okay,
Mm.
now these gaps they are called as imbalances, or we can even call it fair value gaps. Okay, now why is it important? Okay, because according to ICT, now you just have to trust this point that the major algos that are there in the market, or the major orders that are being placed in the fair value gaps, and that is why you get a better price, or let's say a good risk to reward, and a better entry while entering on the fair value gaps. People do tend to enter on the order blocks as well, but for me personally, while entering a trade, I majorly look for fair value gaps. If I don't find anything, then a second option for me would be order blocks.
Yeah.
But not the majority of the time, it's fair value gaps.
Yeah. And order blocks, could you
Mhm.
describe that as a support and resistance level?
Yes, absolutely, we can. Okay, but there is a catch. Okay, let me quickly show you. Okay, now if you can look at the market. Okay, let's look at it from a retail trader. Okay, how is he going to mark this? Let's say this is his support. Let's say this is his support that he has marked. Now market has crossed this, so I am pretty sure the major retail traders would have been entered in the buy trade here. Okay, but this liquidity zone, okay, the market liquidates you, and it tends to hit your stop loss. And this is why I make sure to mark an order block rather than just the support and the resistance here. Okay, and I even focus on the, if you can see these lines that are majorly there on the on my chart, these blue and purple lines,
Yeah.
these are equal highs. Equal highs are something that I look as a target while entering the trade. Equal highs or equal lows. Okay,
Mm,
if I see a equal high, market creates a new equal high, it comes down to an order block, I make sure to enter the trade. That's a plus setup for me, because
mm,
uh, as far as my observation has been, equalize have always acted as a magnet to the price. It attracts the price. Okay.
mm.
So I make sure to enter a trade. I make sure to not miss any trade if I look at the equal highs, no matter what
So
happens.
if this market here is in that double high there that you just highlighted,
The,
before we had, no, or the one before that, before we had the big black candles and the big sell-off. So that market has hit, so if we go to the far right and you see the big
okay.
sell-off, so
Yeah,
it's hit the H1 high, it's hit it again, and then we've had a
mm,
massive sell-off. Is that what
exactly.
you're
So,
looking for an entry?
okay. So basically, if you can see here, okay, market has created equal highs till here. Okay, if you can see, all right.
Yeah.
But here what market has done is it has sweep the equal highs and then started falling down.
Mm,
Okay, now when this happens, I don't consider this as an equal high. Okay, if market did not sweep this and it came directly from here, then I would have expected market to go up again. Okay, I would have planned a buy trade here, but
yeah.
this was a news based move. Okay,
Yeah.
now this can happen anytime, anywhere, and without even you
Oh,
knowing,
yeah,
because
of course. That was news. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And while this was happening, I was just googling stuff like, but why exactly is gold falling? Why exactly is
Mm,
USD falling? I'm not even aware about what exactly happened. There's no major news in the market on Forex
yeah.
Factory. Then why exactly is this movement?
Yeah.
And then after a while, I realized that it was China, and they had stopped buying gold, and that is
That's
why
right.
it started falling down so aggressively.
Yeah.
Okay, so now these equal highs, this is like a plus setup for me. So if we would have planned a trade, if we would have skipped the news part, okay,
Yeah.
I would have just looked for an early order block. Okay, this has been swept, so that there's no order block here. Okay, if I would have there would have been an order block here, then probably I would have entered in a buy trade from here.
Mm,
Okay, and this would have been a perfect E plus setup for me.
mm.
So always while looking for equal highs, the moment I see equal highs, basically I look for an order block, and I look for an entry, basically where I can enter the market. So that's how my setup works.
And on those
And
H1 highs, you're looking for sells from there.
no,
You're
so
looking for
basically,
buys. So, okay.
exactly. So this equal highs acts as a target for me.
Okay.
Okay, this is like a magnet. So once market creates equal highs and then it starts falling apart, okay, I know that market is going, it's going back again to the equal highs. So it,
Okay.
it acts as an, magnet for me. So I look for an order block somewhere nearby. I make sure that I book 1:2 target, and, book partials, and or probably let the remaining, just trail off till
Yeah,
the equal
sure.
high. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Swidget. And if we go back to your potential entry now, because you were saying we're bouncing off a H4 order block, and we'll discuss
Right.
a little bit more about order blocks and support and resistance, but let's focus on the strategy first. So you've had a nice big bullish H4 or H1 candle react at the order block. Now, if we drop
Mhm.
down to the M15 or M5, what are you looking for exactly now? So you explained that potentially a fib retracement would be potentially a buy, or
Yes.
or a fair value gap. So what's your entry here potentially?
Okay. So if I remove the unnecessary stuff first, okay. So now if we can see, I have marked this as a liquidity zone.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a sell side liquidity, SSL. Okay. Now I have seen that market has sweep the sell side liquidity, and it has just touched the 4 hour order block. And I'm looking for a market structure shift, as I explained, before. Now, just because this is a 4 hour order block, I need a 15 minutes market structure shift. I'll quickly shift to the 15-minute time frame.
Okay.
So now, for people who are, who have difficulty knowing, how exactly should I mark my market structure shift, I sometimes tend to use this indicator, okay, that is fractals.
Okay.
Okay, this is I don't use it all the time, but
Yeah.
it's like, just in case if market shows such scenarios, I tend to just take a help from fractals. So
Okay.
as we can, it's here that
Yeah.
I'm mark as a market structure shift. Okay, now, just because it has given a market structure shift in the Asian session, okay, I tend to ignore the Asian session. I don't enter trades in the Asian session because I
Yeah.
believe that market are not, like, the price action doesn't work that well in the Asian session,
Mm.
okay, compared to London and New York.
Sure.
So if you can see the red zone, this is all my Asian session. The blue zone is the London session, and the yellow zone would be New York.
Okay.
Now, once I have a market structure shift, it's this candle that has given me the shift.
Yeah.
Okay. I switch to a smaller time frame. I see what exactly is market doing. Okay, can I see anything here? No. I can just see an order block, but I as I mentioned that I prefer a fair value gap over an order block for entries at least.
Mm.
Okay. So can I see a fair value gap? Yes, I can see a fair value gap over here. Okay, which market is in right now. All right, so this becomes my buy entry. Okay, if I switch to a lower time frame, okay, can I see something else here? No. Okay. So 3 minutes would be my entry time frame for now. Okay.
Okay.
Now I didn't mark my fib, if you have noticed. That's because after a while, you actually get to know what is 50% and what is below 50%.
Sure.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I already knew that. See, this is below 50%, so this becomes a perfect entry for me.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, I would have entered here. Okay,
And
right now.
and
Yeah.
to enter there, Shrija, you're not looking for a bullish reaction. You're just buying that level.
No. So what happens is, after such fall, okay, sometimes there are times when I look for some extra confirmation when I'm not confident. Okay.
Mm.
What I exactly do is I switch to a lower time frame. Okay, I can see that I'll wait for market to cross this level, and
Okay.
then probably I might enter. I even do this sometimes, or there are times when I know that, okay, so this is a market where things are going in place, price action is working perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So probably I might directly place my limit order over here, and I let the trade run off.
Okay. So you even go down to like the 1 minute to basically look for a structure break.
Yes, exactly, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay.
while talking about the trade management, okay, let's say I just, like, as I mentioned, I just book 1:2 most of the times. Now, as we can see, this was the last high that market has created. Okay,
Mm.
this.
Yep.
So I make sure to book my partials over here,
I see.
partial,
Okay. So you take,
or trail my stop loss,
yeah.
whichever is convenient.
And why is your stop loss there, Srijit? Have you given it, do you do a
Okay.
certain amount of pips below the buy zone, or what is it exactly?
So I didn't adjust my stop loss, to be very honest, but usually my stop losses are just before the old low. Okay, the old low that I see, I
Mm.
keep my stop losses just keeping a buffer of 1 pip. I keep it just below that.
Okay.
Okay, and this, if my risk to reward goes like this, would be my trade. Then
Mm.
probably I might trail my stop loss. I might not book my partials here because it's like, it's the risk to reward is 0.83, which is very low. I don't want to focus on such a lower risk to reward.
Yeah.
So what I would do here is, once market reaches this level, I would trail my stop loss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So just trail it up.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would just keep it here, or
Mm,
probably I can even keep it here so that I minimize a little bit of my loss.
yeah.
Why do I keep it here? Because there is a fair value gap and there is a low as well. So
Yeah.
market might come down and then go up again. There
Yeah.
is an order block here, so market might hit the order block too. So I let it trail a little bit. After a stronger confirmation, I make sure that I trail it, or let's say I just let it go in a the way it is,
Yeah.
because I need to give it a little bit of breathing space as well for the price to move.
Sure. And your
Right.
target is basically the last highs.
Yes. So my target are usually the last highs. Okay. But if you can see, if you look at it from a 3 minute time frame, so this acts as a liquidity zone for me. Okay. So rather than just booking a complete 1:2, I would prefer to get out of the market somewhere here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
This is a very safe zone for me,
Yeah.
rather than just letting it trail further. Right.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. And if you
Yeah.
can see, on the buy fair value gap, price has started holding down a little bit. It has started showing some
Yeah.
bullish
Some
move,
bullish. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Rich. So yeah, so similar in a lot of ways to how I trade. Basically, you're looking for an important support zone, whether you call it a fair value gap or a trading block. You're looking for
Right.
some area where you expect price to react. And then you
Right.
go down to the lower time frames, you're looking for that structure break, a
Yeah.
retrace into another level where preferably a fair value gap, could be an order block, um,
Yes.
to trade it higher. Yeah, okay. So yeah, totally get the premise of this,
Mm.
Bridget. The one thing I would like to talk to you about, and because you are a ICT trader, is if we go to the 15-minute chart or 5-minute chart for 1 second,
Yeah.
Sujit.
Sure.
So regardless if you call it a fair value gap, support and resistance, or whatever,
Mhm.
what was once broke, when structure broke with that big red candle,
Yes.
I am just going to put my support and resistance zone
Mhm.
basically through the top of where it broke. Exactly.
Over.
Yeah, exactly. All the way through there, because that was once resistance. When it breaks, it becomes support, right? Now,
Yes. So
exactly that.
let's say this, you have marked this. This
Yeah,
was a resistance, and then it
exactly.
comes down into a support level, right?
Exactly. And I would drag that across because a lot of traders who watch this, ask me a lot about fair value caps, order blocks, support and resistance. And
Mhm.
you know, my answer is usually they're all at the
Mhm.
same area. You know,
Exactly.
you know,
So,
enough people,
yes,
if
so I
enough people want to
completely agree.
trade an area, it's a good area to trade.
Yes. So I completely agree with this, Tom. So basically, fair value gaps, order blocks, stop focusing on the words, focus on the logic.
Mm,
Probably it might be easier for you to understand things in a better way. Because just because of these fancy words, people tend to avoid, oh, I don't understand the term order blocks. I don't understand the term imbalance, fair value gaps,
yeah,
liquidity
exactly.
zones. It's pretty simple. Just understand the meaning. It doesn't matter if you name it support, if you want to call it you just want to call it X, it's completely fine if it's
Yes.
the setup for you. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just the word. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um,
Right.
yeah, good. I'm glad you think the same, Srijit, because this is what I always say as well. And then just
Mhm.
just one more thing here, Srijit. So if you went to the H4 chart now,
Mhm.
so that that last high, oh no, it's okay. It's okay, it's not. Maybe if you went to the H1, actually, if you went to the H1,
Yeah.
there's arguably an element of support there. What was once support became resistance, but you wouldn't
Yeah. This point.
exactly this area, you wouldn't factor that into your thinking. You just,
Yeah.
yeah, that whole area exactly.
Right.
Would that factor into your thinking, Srijit, or you just really like the H4 order block and would trade from there?
So, there are two ways to look at it. Yes, you can absolutely look at it this way. Okay. So, if you can see my target, it's somewhere near the support. So basically, if we talk from a support and resistance point of view, market
Mm.
will fall down from here a little bit more,
Yeah.
right? So that's how we look at it. And even my targets, I make sure to exit in this zone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that I can look at it from a support and resistance point, perspective, but
Mm-hmm.
I tend to not because yes, there was a point when I was trading this, so I know how exactly this works.
Mm.
But right now, just because I have my entire edge in place, so I
Yeah.
tend to not look at any other thing apart from my edge.
Sure.
Okay. It can be a little difficult in the initial stage while you are creating an edge. I always say this, but
Mm.
understand yourself first. For me, equal highs, I have traded so much, I have took so many losses. After that, me personally, I've seen that equal highs is something that falls into my A plus setup. So that I make sure to not miss that setup. So have something of this sort on your own.
Mm. Mm.
Take losses, book your profits, trail stop losses, make mistakes, just brush up your edge to a
Yeah.
to a level where it simplifies you. You know
Yeah.
everything about your edge,
Yeah,
right?
sure. Exactly, Srijit. Yeah, regardless of that hitting a resistance level, you know
Right.
your strategy and setup, and it ignores that, and that's absolutely fine. And you're happy
Exactly.
to take price back up to those, and it hasn't got to move a great distance because of the time frames you're entering on anyway.
Right.
So yeah, all right, Richard. So yeah, really enjoyed that. And I really enjoyed, understanding some of these ICT terms. Obviously I understand ICT, but perhaps some of the
Mhm.
viewers don't. And I really like what you said there. It doesn't matter what the name of these is it a fair value gap? Is it an order block? Is it a liquidity sweep? Is it a support and resistance level? You just need to make sense of that and create a
Exactly.
logical strategy that works for you, and
Right.
trade it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's been
Just
really good talking.
simplifying. Don't overcomplicate things is
Yeah.
what I always say. Keep it very simple. Keep it simple to a way that you can explain it to a 5-year-old kid. Trust
Yes.
things are going to change for you a lot.
Yeah. I'm gonna train up some of my nieces. My brother would be very happy. Yeah, all right, Srijit. Well, yeah, I'd like to thank you very much for your time and for sharing your strategy and also sharing your insights as well. It's been great interviewing you, and perhaps we could do it again sometime.
Sure, absolutely, Tom. I'm looking forward for that. And thank you so much for your time as well.
No problem. Thank you very much, Srijit.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good day.